You almost can't say Modern Warfare 3 Zombies without saying the Tombstone glitch and duplication. I would submit that probably over 50% of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies players use the Tombstone to duplicate items, share schematics, etc. Now, the real question becomes, is it good or is it bad for the game? And why should you or should you not do it? Listen up. One Average Dan here. The main reason that I use a Tombstone to duplicate items is this right here. You're relatively weak when you start out. This is a gray, not pack-a-punch weapon, and these are some of the better weapons in the game, and you're struggling. But if you have a Tombstone, you do this, and suddenly, life is simple. It saves me 30 minutes every single round that I don't have to grind up through Pack-a-Punch 1, 2, 3, over and over and over again. So if I want to go run Tier 4 Dark Ether, for example, I need to get to Pack-a-Punch 3. So if I have a Flawless Ethereum Crystal, I can do that instantly, or I can spend about 20 to 30 minutes in order to get 30,000 Essence so I can get Pack-a-Punch 1, 2, and 3. Or I can just click one button because I put it in my stash and bring it in, or because it's in my Tombstone and bring it in. So I can get right to the things that I want to get to. Now, my total game of wanting to play took me 40 minutes or even 30 minutes total instead of an hour to do the same thing that I wanted to do. And let me remind you, this is not a skill issue. This is a time issue and a fun issue. I can play the hard modes. I can go in on naked runs like I do on this video up here. We can do that. That's not what we're talking about. Now, speaking of Pack-a-Punch, the other very important thing is weapon rarity. If you have a gold ether tool or legendary ether tool, it gives you 4 times the damage. Check out my video here. I explain everything about the rarity of weapons and Pack-a-Punch and how they interact. Now, the big thing with ether tools, there is no guaranteed way to get them other than to craft them, and we'll talk about crafting in a little bit. But even when you're playing Tier 3 and doing a bunch of contracts, like I was beating high-value target, mega abominations, getting all the most difficult guys I could find, out of like 5 contracts, 3 of them gave me blue, or what they call rare, ether tools. That's it. One, I got 2 blue ether tools. Another one, I got 2 blue ether tools, just getting absolute crap loot. And so even if you go through the 30 minutes of grinding out to get Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch and either an epic or a legendary ether tool to get that max weapon damage, you're not even guaranteed to get that. You might play a whole round and only get blue. So now you can just go take on the mega abominations from the start. You don't got to worry about it. Blow their heads off, you know, normal things like that. Take this disciple here, convert him to my side. Hey, you're missing another head there, buddy. You gonna be okay? Sure doesn't look like you're gonna be okay. Ooh, we're gonna blow his head off. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Now, if I were messing with this game, what I would do to adjust is that there would be a minimum reward system. So if you are in Tier 3, let's say if I do a Tier 3 contract, you are guaranteed that epic or better items will drop. Now, it's not guaranteed what items. I understand having that randomization, as it does help the psychological addiction to keep playing a game because you never know what you're going to get, which is great, but you got to change it so that the reward is actually worth the time invested. And right now, it's just genuinely not. That brings me to the next side of schematics and the crafting system. The fact that they put schematics in, that you have to exfil with them successfully to unlock them, all of that works phenomenally well and makes the game much more fun to play because there's something to grind for. And then when you grind for it, you unlock that legendary ether tool, that Flawless Ethereum Crystal permanently to be able to craft it on your own for yourself or for other people, which is a great system. I love it. The big issue with it is the cooldown time. So for any legendary item that you're doing, it is a minimum of a 48-hour or 2 full days in real life time cooldown, which is insane. And then for the Flawless Ethereum Crystal, it's 3 days. That means if I'm playing Modern Warfare Zombies with my buddies Friday night, the first round, we're going to go beat the Red Worm, and I craft a Flawless Ethereum Crystal. I have to wait until Monday evening in order to craft that thing again. So think of the insured weapon slots. If you've played DMZ, obviously you're playing zombies. If I successfully exfil with Essence, killing zombies, completing contracts, etc., that 1.5 hour time to get my insured weapon slot back now gets reduced by an hour. With the crafting, They need to do the same thing. When you craft and you have a 1 day or a 2 day or a 3 day cooldown, if I exfil and get a bunch of good stuff, a bunch of contracts, maybe some missions complete, get a bunch of essence, then that crafting should go down from 3 days down to maybe 2 days. Come on, come on. There we go. Thanks for dying, buddy. All right, let's see what we get. Hey, refined Ethereum diagram, speed cola. This is good loot. This is how it should be every time. The last reason that I use a tombstone, and I think for many people why we all use a tombstone, is the stash. In an exfil survival style shooter like this is, you know, similar to Escape from Tarkov, DMZ, all those kind of games, you have to have a stash. So the great items that you get in the game, you need to be able to bring them back in when you want. So that way there's a reward for looting. If I get great items, okay, I'm going to save those for later for another mission or for my buddies or next time I come in to do this and that. Now, there's no sort of like flea market like Tarkov has where you can buy stuff externally. And I'm not saying that they should bring that in, although it's probably not a terrible idea. But right now, the entire stash limit for the whole game is 10. 1, 0, 10. Think about this. On a large rucksack like I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 items on my person right now. Which, let's look at that from 2 different perspectives. That means if I have a fully loaded stash of 10, I fill up my rucksack to bring all the best items in, you know, for a Dark Ether Elder Sigil Tier 5 round, then I now have 1 item left in my stash. On the flip side of that, let's say I play a lot, so I have 10 legendary, amazing items in my stash. I go to the Dark Ether, I get all these cases, all this amazing loot. I can't keep any of it. I either got to get rid of stuff or I'm forced to take it in the next round. My proposition is the stash should be a minimum, again, minimum of 40 items and probably more like 50 or 60. This allows you to get all the best items that you want, to keep them, and to be encouraged again to use them, which should be the point of all this. You're missing your head. You probably wished you were dead. Oh, you're missing 2 heads now. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it, buddy? That's a mistake. Never shoot lasers at me, buddy. Look at blue, rare, ether tool, 3-plate armor. 3-plate armor vest is fine. Large rucksack, that kind of stuff's fine. But blue should not be happening from a tier 3 mega abomination. It's supposed to be hard to kill that. It's like a little mini boss, right? I think tiers might still be the best guns in the game. I know a lot of you, when you watch this video, are going to be like, well, you're a cheater and you shouldn't cheat and you should earn it naturally. My argument to that is this is a player versus environment game. It's co-op, meaning I'm not competing with other players. So if I exploit with a tombstone and duplicate my items because I don't want to grind for 30 minutes every time, it doesn't affect you. More so, I would say that it actually brings a net benefit. Most people that play games, if you're anything over like 20, you have a job, you have responsibilities, you might volunteer places, you might have a family, or a spouse, kids, etc. You're not jumping on to go play for 4, 5, 6, 8 hours like professionals do. You have an hour, maybe 2 hours at the end of a long week to play. So do you want to spend 50%, 60% of that time just getting your guns to the place you want so you can go run the Dark Ether? Or do you want to go right in and make it so you can run 4 or 5 Dark Ethers in one night instead of 1 or 2? This isn't Warzone. We are not playing against real people. If this was Warzone and we're using an exploit like this, then 100% it's an issue. You should be, you know, banned or at least shadow banned temporarily for it until you make better decisions, kind of a thing. But it's PvE. And so for me, in single player games, in PvE games like this, have fun, enjoy the games. And if you want to play with dupes and this kind of stuff, like in Zelda, you want to duplicate your weapons, good. If you don't, also good. No judgment, right? But just play the game that you want to play in the way that you want to play. Also, speaking of running with your squad and tombstone duplication, make sure that you join the Discord down below. We have over 3,000 people in there, most of whom are Zombies player. It's pretty family-friendly-ish. The people are great. If you're looking for a squad, no matter what skill level you are, they're there. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more Modern Warfare Zombies and Warzone content. And remember to hit that notification button here on YouTube. And as always, I will see you live on YouTube.